So welcome everyone. So this is the weekly Zoom call and we're about to get started. I have an exercise for you all to go through. Again, have your tabletop, your Post-its and pen. I'm gonna flip my camera and we're all gonna follow along to this constellation. All right. All right, give me 1 second here.
Sure.
All right. So on a Post-it note or piece of paper, you're gonna write on here me, all right? So you're gonna write M-E. At the top of this Post-it note or paper, you're gonna draw this arrow. That's the direction in which you're facing in the field. So this is gonna be kind of a living map here, okay? Let's go ahead and place ourselves in the field, and we're just gonna place ourselves front and center here. And go ahead and place your hand on top of this piece of paper. So this is you. We're gonna get really present to you. And you're gonna notice what you're gonna notice. So that could be thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, what's showing up in your body. What are you present to right now? So get really present to what's happening in your body first. And we'll just take a few moments in silence to do that. Now begin to notice how you're relating to what's around you. Does the space feel around you? What are you noticing in the space? Is anything showing up in the space? And I'll just take a moment. Who wants to share what's showing up for them? Go ahead and unmute yourself. We'll just take a few shares if that's there for you guys yet. Anyone want to share?
I'm feeling a lot of clutter.
Mm-hmm.
A lot going on around me.
Mm-hmm. So it's feeling like your clutter's feeling very like spinning around you. It's almost like clouds that I see. How do you feel around this clutter or within this clutter?
Sad.
Mm-hmm. Feeling isolated?
Yeah, a little bit, which don't know which way to turn.
Yeah. It's a very spinning energy in your field. Almost tornadoes. Anyone else want to share? Let's have one more person. Go ahead.
I just had to figure out the unmute mute thing. There's a little bit of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be better today. My energy it's easily frazzled. So I'm trying to be very, very careful about this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I notice I'm just easily tired, and it goes in waves. So
yeah. So I'm noticing this physical exhaustion within you, and in your field, Nicole, there feels like there's this ball of energy right here, and it feels like you're kind of reacting to that a little bit, and it's exhausting. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're just noticing what's showing up right now. Yeah. One more person wants to share.
I'm feeling a heaviness in my gut and a lot of weight around me.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm feeling that there's this burden on your shoulders. Feels like a weight. And there's this emotional response internally here in your gut.
Mm-hmm.
So you're carrying a lot right now, Randy. Yeah. So just noticing what's going on with us, getting really present to that. Yeah. Noticing what's there for us that we had not really seen, perhaps felt, letting that come to the surface so we can really get present to it. All right, let's actually bring in the next part here. So we're going to look at the part of us that has been carrying the emotions that we've been feeling lately, okay? And we're going to call it, and we'll see what shows up for us individually. So we're going to call it the part of me carrying my emotions. So this is a part of us. So we'll say the part of me carrying my emotions. And again, with that arrow pointing out. And let's just see what shows up. It could be one or more parts. It could morph into several parts. So let's just see what shows up for you. And we're gonna place this in front of us. Okay, I know you can't read that, it's upside down, but we all know what that says. So place your hand on this part of you that's been carrying these emotions and see what comes up for you. So we'll take a few moments in silence and really feel into that. Again, noticing if it becomes a certain age, if it shows up, this part, as a certain age. What are the emotions he or she's feeling? What happened? Is there some sort of trauma around there, or time period, significant time period? Noticing this part of you, allowing them to come to the surface. Who wants to share what they're noticing, what part shows up for them, what they're noticing? And if no one speaks up, I will start calling on people. So,
Hi. I notice it seems to be, for me, kind of everywhere throughout my body, not just, localized.
mm-hmm.
So
Terrence, for you, is it a certain part that comes up, or just so describe it a little more?
yeah, well, I wasn't going to say anything, but because it's kind of, I don't have a certain part that I'm actually drawn to noticing more. I just noticed that I seem to be carrying things throughout my body.
Mm-hmm. I'm noticing a certain type of like fragmentation within your body. It's like layers. So that's just noticing what I'm seeing there. Just feeling back into you. So it seems like there's a lot of introspection right now coming from you. And there seems like there's a little bit of again, I'm seeing this fragmenting right here.
Okay.
So just noticing what shows up in the field. And so the emotions here, what are the emotions here that you're feeling that shows up in these parts? And I will share first, before you say something, I will share, I'm definitely feeling the exhaustion.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Anything
actually,
else that you're noticing?
yeah, it's kind of odd, but it's kind of almost like I feel joy being like stuck somewhere.
what I'm noticing is that there's a lot of internal work happening with you right now. And you recently that you've had some experiences that you're doing a lot of internal work. And so there's this focus in that. And so as I'm not seeing this environmental influence right now, like this focus is really on this internal work that you're doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I can feel what you're saying.
Yeah. And that's just what the field is revealing to you right now. Anyone else want to share what, if a part comes up and what it's showing you, what the field's showing you right now?
I do. There was something really interesting happening. So the emotion was overwhelm and fear. And when you asked about age, I wasn't quite clear. There was something about 17, and I couldn't figure out what. I really can't connect the dots. But then there was also 7, and I realized that my mom very recently told me that that was the age when her mom died. And we actually happened to be vacationing in Spain, and she had to fly back. And so my father was stuck with me and my sister, and that was, I guess, very unusual for him. And I don't remember much about it, but I do know that it must have been somewhat traumatic. And for my mom, it really, really was. She felt she was way too young to lose her mom, and I guess she didn't recover for years.
So the 17, was there perhaps that was a time when you left home at some point?
Actually, that was later for me.
Okay, so there was something at 17 about adulthood, but so there's the emotions of like there's some fear that I'm sensing, and what I'm seeing is you're grasping and someone's going away, so something's leaving there. So what are the emotions with that? What are the emotions this part is feeling? So just feel into that, Nicole. Anyone else want to share?
You mean into the 17 part?
Say that again.
You mean into the 17 part? Because I can't. That one is not coming forth really.
So just stay with it. It'll reveal itself.
Okay.
So go back to that younger girl and just right now feel what she feels, and just sit with that. It'll keep revealing itself. Anyone else want to share what this emotional part is revealing? The part that is carrying these emotions?
There's a tremendous sadness with my 5-year-old. I remember my mother sitting me down at the table and telling me my dad's gone and not coming back.
Yeah.
And so, and the part in my body, I mean, it is really the shoulders and my back and that weight that I've been carrying since then.
Yeah. Thank you. And one more person.
Getting a sense of childlike joy and almost like this feeling of bliss that feels that it's coming up from my sternum all the way up, and it's coming through these flames. Like there's just flames everywhere, but the through the flames, the bliss, the joy, it's like a very young joy is emerging.
Yeah. So it feels like this and we just did some work recently. I feel like, Melanie, that's related to that too. Okay.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. So yeah, because we did a heavy piece kind of around that the other day. So all right, wonderful, guys. Let's put in the next step here. So we're gonna put in our higher self. So you're gonna put my higher self, again with that arrow. And let's place our higher self, let's place them right here. And placing your hand on your higher self, let's bring them into the field. And I'm just noticing I'm wanting to place this back a little bit, give a little bit of a perspective and see how that feels for you. Okay, let's go back to and we'll come back to our higher self. Let's go back to you. So you're going to place your hand on me. And I want you to look towards this part of you that's been carrying these emotions. And let's look towards that part and notice how you're feeling now that you're looking at that part. How does it feel to see that part? And perhaps you've been carrying that part and that part's been acting up, wanting to be seen, giving you little nudges, blocking you perhaps, causing you angst, anxiety, sadness, whatever that is for you. So just look at that. Joy, this part could be actually causing you joy. So it could be bubbling up in you, causing you joy. So look to see what that is for you. And you can say this to this part, it's good to see you. So you can say that out loud or internally. Tell this part, thank you for wanting to be seen. Thank you for being there. Thank you for showing me something. And I want you to now feel your higher self next to you. How does it feel to have your higher self here? Your higher self looking at this part of you and looking at you, the consciousness of you. Noticing that. So we're gonna go back and forth a little bit, and then I'll have you guys share. So go to the part of you that is carrying these emotions, and I will say that we wrote these words down. For some of you, this is morphed into something else. Go ahead and allow it to morph into something else. And if you need to modify the words on there, please do. So keep allowing this to come up. So notice how this part of you feels now that you consciousness, you has acknowledged it. How does this part feel to be acknowledged, to be seen? Ask this part what it needs, and we'll go a little further into that. Perhaps this part needs you to come closer. Go ahead and make that move. Go ahead and come closer. Perhaps this part wants some love, some holding. Go ahead and allow that. How does this part feel now that your higher self is here? So be with this connection for a moment. Does anyone want to share what happened, what the experience was for you?
I feel better because there was kind of an expansion that occurred.
Was this when your higher self came in?
Yeah, and then also when we recognize, if that's the right word, the part that it was carrying our emotions, and when we acknowledge that, there was like kind of a relief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I don't have to do it all myself anymore. Type thing.
Yeah.
Good.
And let's actually go back to, and I'll ask more to share in a moment. Let's go back to and make sure that this gets acknowledged. Go place your hand back on you and say to this part, thank you for carrying my emotions. It's a big thing to carry. And you've done a great job. If there's anything else that wants to be acknowledged from you to this part, please acknowledge that. Please tell that part. And who else wants to share?
I want to share because it's somewhat unusual. For me, it's like going backwards. There is a great, great, great sense of hopelessness.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know which part, I don't even know which part feels that. But the higher self apparently is completely disconnected. I truly didn't expect that when we were starting this constellation. I thought I was in a pretty good space. So it's the complete opposite now. So it triggered something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's look at that. So the higher self you're saying is feeling disconnected.
That's what I would say because it didn't make any sense. And
so what I'm noticing, Nicole, is that your higher self is trying to get your attention.
Okay.
And you said, so say more about when you're standing in the shoes of this part, what are you noticing? And when you're standing in you, what are you noticing?
I can't distinguish, but it seems when I'm standing in the me part,
Mm-hmm.
That was the hopelessness, because when I look at the emotions, it's completely overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I guess, yeah, it's a river devouring me. So that's not my, that's a younger self, the me that experiences that big time.
So I'm feeling right now when I'm standing in your shoes, my head's getting cloudy, and I'm feeling that overwhelmed, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Uh-huh.
Let's do this for you, Nicole. I want you to take you, and I want you to place you in front of your higher self, who is really trying to get your attention. Just face her, okay, in front of her,
Mm-hmm.
and look at her. Tell your higher self, and you can say this out loud. I see you. Tell her I'm beginning to see you.
I'm beginning to see you.
I think I see you.
I think I see you.
But I'm not sure I see you.
But I'm not sure I see you.
So let's have you take a step back here. Looks like you were a little too close. Make sure that feels comfortable to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see her now? She just got bigger. What do you see, Nicole, when you look at your higher self? Tell your higher self, I don't want to see you.
You know what? Okay. I had at some point in my life, I guess in my 20s, somebody tell me, who was a kind of self-pronounced guru, oh, I'm having really good contact with your higher self. Mm-hmm. And that popped back in my mind. It's like, oh, that was something so free. He was not completely in the light. Yeah. So there was something about this experience that was very, I don't know, let's not go there kind of thing. And I guess that's that just right now connected in my mind. So that has nothing to do with my real higher self, but the words were triggering that.
For you, Nicole, we'll just do this little piece real quick. Put a piece of paper on top of your higher self because you have him collapsed. Okay, so this is that guru guy, okay?
Yeah.
All right, you have him
I
collapsed.
forgot about that guy.
Yeah, well, that's why he showed up. All right, I want you to look at your higher self with this guru guy on top of your higher self, okay? Look at him. Okay, I want you to remove him.
Okay.
Okay? And we're gonna just remove him from your field, okay? Say bye-bye to him. Say bye-bye.
Yeah. I don't want anything to do with him.
Okay, just say bye-bye. He doesn't need to be there. So look at your higher self. What do you notice?
Clearer.
Yeah. She was collapsed with him for a while.
Whoa, interesting.
Mm-hmm. So Nicole, for you, I want you to just feel into this for a little while, okay? All right. So who else wants to share? We'll go with one more person before we move on to the next step.
Well, when I try to see my higher self in relation to me, I feel like my higher self is kind of laughing, or I'm not necessarily laughing, but I feel like I feel like the ugly duckling compared to the beautiful swan kind of feeling, where I see in this image my my aura being kind of bumpy and jagged, and the higher self being very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get them to get along, but that's the image that keeps coming up.
So what's this part that shows up for you?
It is part of it came up. I also went back. The number 7 came up also. So maybe around 7 years old, I remember walking down the halls in elementary school, and just being very, very embarrassed and self-aware that I was the only Asian in school, and the other kids were making fun of me.
Yeah. So the field's showing you. So there's this. You're looking at this version of you, this part of you, this trauma, and this sentence of yourself. So it was a sentence back then, and that's what's coming up right now. So this feeling like the ugly duckling, different, very, very present right now. So Chiaki,
Yes.
I want you also to look at your higher self.
Okay.
So I want you to do that too. So tell your higher self, I am you. Say, I am you.
I am you,
Although I haven't felt like it.
although I haven't felt like it.
I want you to, this is a mirror in between you right now. So this is actually this is a mirror of you, a mirror image. So your higher self is a mirror image. So see actually as though you're looking through at this mirror right now. I want you to see that reflection of your higher self back at you. So keeping your hand on you, okay?
Okay.
So look into that mirror and see your higher self reflecting back to you. And I want you to embody what you're seeing right now. See how beautiful she is. See her glory. See her strength, her wisdom. What do you notice?
I can see me, I think, much clearer. That mirror really helps.
Yeah. So feel that for reflecting back into you, into your body, absorb all that. So for right now, anything that you were feeling back in this time, go ahead and leave it right here. So just let go of it,
Okay.
and just keep seeing this mirrored version of you. And as that's working, so you're getting some help here too. As that's working, go back to this part that experienced that shitty situation with the cruel children. And there's some things to give back to them that are not yours to carry. So I want you to take a piece of paper. I want you to place it on top of this part, and let's just draw an X on there. This is all that stuff that you carried, all that crap that those kids put on you, teachers, the system, cultural differences, all that stuff that you've been carrying, like even feeling unattractive, even feeling like you're less than. So all of that actually doesn't belong to you. And I'm actually seeing I'm seeing these kids siblings who were picking on them, and then they picked on you. So again, it all kind of came to you, and this is what you've been carrying here. Let's go ahead and I have a candle here, and you can take any kind of representation. You can just actually place another piece of paper here. This is where that belongs. So all of that gets to go back to where it belongs, to whom it belongs.
Okay.
I'm actually seeing some parents show up too. These parents picking on their kids, then picking on you. So this goes back. I'm seeing this really spread. So this gets to go back where it belongs. It has to go back, needs to go back to where it belongs. So Chiaki, go ahead and take all that. You're just gonna give it back to where it belongs, okay? Let's just place it over here. This will be some support, so that gets to go back to where it belongs. We'll ask the guides and angels to, people want to carry their own burdens, people want to carry their own stuff, even if they don't realize it. It helps them heal as well, helps them be complete. Helps systems be complete, heal. And tell me when you're ready to place your hand back on this part and see how she feels.
Okay. Oh, she can smile now.
Yeah. She's a beautiful sweetheart, isn't she? Yeah.
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 She
She's
can
a
smile
beautiful
now.
sweetheart. Yeah.
I can feel that one.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I can relate. That's good.
Just clearing out that energy. So just a lot moved out there. Okay. So Chiaki, for you, just it feels like you want to kind of look at her. Bring her in. Perhaps bring her into this. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let her also see your higher self. Okay. And just do that for a moment. Okay. And I think we'll take the next step here. Let me just feel back into the collective here, our group. Okay. All right, so let's bring in, we're actually going to bring in, let's bring in the universe right now. So bringing in the universe. And that could show up as guides, helpers, archangels, angels, ascended masters, those who are helping us from the other side with our greatest good, for our greatest good. So we're going to bring them in. Let's go ahead and we'll just place them here for right now. As always, guys, in the constellation, if your parts want to move, go ahead and allow that movement. That movement could cause healing. So place your hand on the universe and let's feel what shows up for you. We'll take a few moments to do that. Who wants to share what they're noticing when the universe comes in, standing in the shoes of the universe? Who shows up? What shows up?
I feel wings on my heart. It
Mhm.
feels like it's a flying energy, like it's a, yeah, it feels like a time of flying,
Mhm.
soaring, going above.
I still feel like this is a continuation of your constellation, Melanie. And you're still in that, definitely in that, what you created yesterday or whenever that was. I want you to, it feels like you want to look at this, so go ahead and turn and look at the universe. And it feels like the universe wants to look towards you. And if any of you are also feeling that, please do that movement. There is an energy exchange right now, so if any of you are also feeling this, please do that. So feeling into Melanie's field, and also it feels like some of the some others are also feeling this too. So go ahead and do that. Receiving some information from the universe. So go ahead and receive some information, and that could be coding, knowledge. Receive that. Gifts as well. Some of you are receiving healing. Some of you are receiving hands-on on the head as well. I'm seeing 2 of you. Some of your parts may want to also have a movement. Some of these are receiving healing right now, so go ahead and move them so that they can directly have hands-on or receive that healing. Some of this is going back. There's no time or space in the field. Some of this is going back and recoding the past. If it's outside the realm of lessons that needed to be learned. So recoding what can be recoded and asking the helpers to assist with that, assist with the healing of this part, these parts. Okay, they're also helping the, let me feel more into that. Okay, so that's not just these parts, they're actually helping with the healing associated with these parts. So the situations, the trauma. So I'm seeing family members, like some friends associated with it, trauma. So family members, siblings. So they're helping heal that whole field, asking for, asking that to be sent far and wide, that healing. So the family systems that affected, if we can get healing for all that too. Okay, I'm seeing some ancestral parts as well, going back, recoding. Anyone wants to share what's happening for them, what they're noticing? As they'll continue to work on you. Okay, while we do that, we've got some archangels that are wanting to make themselves known. So let's put them there. So I am archangels. We'll just say archangels. It looks like some love. So, and I'm going to probably pronounce these wrong. Shamuel, for the heart. It looks like Raphael. And then I'm seeing Michael. So you guys can write this in, or you can write archangels and see who shows up for you. I'm just seeing who else. Uriel. I'm seeing a lot, so it could be, all right, so it could be the archangels. And I feel like what's happening is that different archangels are showing up for different people in the group. So let's just bring them in. They want to be seen by you guys. So what I'm hearing is it's time you guys are working with them. I'm sure some of you do. So they really want to be seen by this group, by who's here on the call today. So place them in and see who shows up for you, and it could be a feeling. So just allow them to show up. There's many of them. Who wants to share? And I encourage you to go back to go back to the different parts of your field, however it's positioned. And feel the archangels around you, feel the support of the universe, feel this healing of this part, feel your higher self. Perhaps your higher self has this perspective and is watching. So notice what's there for you. Who wants to share? I'll shut up now.
I just feel kind of humble. You know, like I try to do it all myself and whatever it is, but it's like, you know, that's not necessary.
Well, you aren't doing it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but it's just, that's how I feel. It's like, you know, yeah, let go, you know.
So we think we're this island, we think we're isolated, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. That feeling came up as well. And there's a sense, for whatever reason, of awareness strongly of my bones.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's inside the body, the structure of the body, and what the body is made of, down to the cells that make up the bones. It's almost like an X-ray feeling. Like I can see through the angels' like presence. I can see the structure of my body inside.
Mm.
And there's this feeling of you're a human being right now. You're a soul in a human body right now. Anyone else?
Well, I want to say that the angels are always here to help us. We just have to ask. That's the thing. Sometimes we forget to ask, and they want to help us, but they need our permission to help us. So we just need to ask anytime we need it for anything.
So they really wanted us to be seen in this constellation. So they were kind of included in here, but they really wanted to be seen. They really want us to work with them. So we've got our guides, we've got our helpers, and all the ascended masters, and the archangels really we're the foot soldiers, as I've been saying for the lately, especially for the angels, for the other side. And so they really want us to work with them And they really want us to know that they're here and that they want us to feel this connection too. And what we can do, how we can work with them. Anyone else?
I'm having a little bit of a difficulty here. You know that I usually do feel that. And yes, I do feel Archangel Michael as usual, kind of, sort of. But the piece with this guy that was uncovered earlier that rattled me. Even if we had him leave the field, it seems something. There was something that was very abusive. And it seems like there's a wound that has not been addressed completely. So maybe I'm wrong about that, but I feel, you know, I'm not completely connecting with all what we were doing. And I'm rattled by that because usually that's so easy for me.
So this is Tim right now. I'm putting him back in your field.
Okay.
So I want you to tell him, I will do a little piece on you later. Because something came up for me. Go ahead and say that to him.
I will do a little piece later on you.
Because something's coming up for me that I need to heal.
Because something is coming up for me that I need to heal.
But right now, this is my constellation. I'll get back to you. Just tell him that.
Okay. Okay, right now this is my constellation and I will get back to you.
And I'm hanging out with the universe right now and the Archangels. So you need to go.
Oh, thank you. That feels really good.
Yeah. So tell him you'll need. So we'll place him by the light for right now.
Okay. I had him in the trash bin, so I guess I have to get him back. I call him G for right now.
So it's just so Nicole, that's an opportunity for healing, and we'll put that in our back pocket right now. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so right now you're with the Archangels in the universe, and this part that has been helping you and your higher self. And so let's feel back into that. And right now he's actually I kind of feel he's in prison right now for me. He's Source and Archangel Michael is kind of holding him in prison right now in escrow. And we'll go back and look at that at a later point if that's still there for you. Okay. Asking Archangel Michael and those helpers who are helping around that, if that can be completely released and cut from Nicole's field right now to go, please do that. So anything that's not love and light in Nicole's field needs to leave right now, and that includes him. So all ties are to be cut right now. He is to be recycled. He is to go where he belongs, out of Nicole's field. And that energy that needs to go back to source is where he needs to go. He doesn't belong here. Putting a protection around your field right now, Nicole. You just feel that blue light. Notice that blue light around you. Okay.
There's a tarot card where there is a knight cutting chains with a sword, and that actually came up all those years ago in real. And I'm just getting this image back. There was something cutting free.
Yeah, and if you want to place that right here, that image, that sword. So there's a part of protection here. You can either write on a piece of paper mirror. I'm sorry, you can't see that up there. That's what I have, where I have him. Okay. And if you want to put a mirror, whatever feels appropriate to you, you can put a mirror with that arrow out, or you can put that protector right here.
I will also just put the sword, or the knight with a sword, because that was very real to me.
Yeah. Okay.
So they can both be there.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share? So we're going to end the constellation in a few moments. So if there's any last thing, and I encourage you to speak what has this experience has been. So I encourage you to acknowledge it in the field. So any last comments?
I only want to say it just helps me to remind me that unfortunately I seem to so often forget to access the power that I know is there. And, you know, that's it.
Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of doing constellation work, is that we get to connect to what's there on so many levels, to the hidden in such a powerful way, and we get to see it, we get to acknowledge it, we get to hear these messages clearly, we get to embody it, we get to work with the other side, we get to see who we're working with. So that's the beauty of doing constellation work. Anyone else?
Earlier, I saw a sword cut straight through me when Jackie was sharing. And so I find that incredible that Nicole then talked about the sword. It felt very much like a separating of past and what we did today and what is, yeah, like our higher self in the universe. And I feel, I feel particularly nourished by that imagery and hearing what happened today with everyone.
Yeah, you were saying what Chiaki was sharing, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else?
It's got a lot of peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can rest in that peace. Yeah.
I can echo that.
Wonderful. All right, guys. So I think we're going to end it here, and let me just feel into. I encourage you to, if you feel like you want to come back to this, so leaving, and especially as we didn't actually go into specifically the virus or what's, but what's been happening for us personally is kind of what showed up. So I encourage you to leave this in some way and come back to these representations, to come back to this constellation. So acknowledge that this part, whatever this part needs right now, if it's love, if it's to be seen, whatever it needs right now to really, after this constellation in your real life, in a few moments, to be presence this part of you and give it what that part needs. Again, love, play, joy. So really be aware of this part. And again, awareness of your higher self, that perspective, awareness of the support and guidance of the universe and the archangels. Again, if you want to have a candle and just really come back to this constellation, this was a very nice little constellation to have, especially at this time. All right, guys, so I'm going to pull it my camera and pull my hair back because I'm sure my hair's all messy. Okay. All right, so tomorrow, like I mentioned, is the start of the coronavirus support group for 4 weeks. Every Thursday and Monday. I highly encourage you guys to join us. So we'll be doing this type of constellation, and then also specifically to, you know, globally what's happening with the world in relation to this craziness that's happened. So all right, email me if you guys want to join us. It's $39 for the whole entire month, so it's not that pricey. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Megan.
And yeah, and I leave you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.